Hi guys, today we're talking about the power rule. Our objective is I will be able to apply the power rule to simplify expressions. Now the power rule states that when taking exponential expressions to a power, we need to multiply the exponents. The reason why can be shown in this example, 5 to the third to the second power. When we take something to the second power, it means we're going to multiply what's inside our parentheses twice. So we have 5 to the third here once and 5 to the third here another time. Now we can actually continue to break down 5 to the third into 5 times 5 times 5, or 5 being multiplied by itself 3 times. So if we take this here as being broken down into 5 times 5 times 5, and this one right here broken down again 5 times 5 times 5, we end up with a total of 6 5s, which matches here 5 to the 6th. We can actually also get 5 to the 6th power when we multiply 3 times 2, which is this number here and that number here. So this shows us why the power rule actually works. When you have a to the m to the nth power, then we're going to be multiplying our m value and our n value together. So if we look at our first teacher example, we have x squared all to the third power. So x squared times 3, we're going to get x to the 6th power. Now when we do 2x to the negative third to the 4th power, we actually have two things that we're needing to multiply. This 2 actually is 2 to the 1st power, and this x to the negative third. So if we're multiplying all of this to the 4th power, we need to do 2, 1 times 4, and then x to the negative 3 times 4. So we have 2 to the 4th power, x to the negative 12th power, which equals 16x to the negative 12th power. We know that when we have a negative exponent, we need to bring it down to the denominator, so our final answer is actually 16 over x to the 12th. And then lastly, when we have 12x to the 4th divided by 3x to the 3rd power, we need to be attributing that 3rd power here in a multitude of terms. So let's do 12 to the 1st power, x to the 4th power, 3 to the 1st power, x to the 1st power, and all of this we're going to be doing to the 3rd power. Now, if I do a little bit of simplifying first, we can divide 12 by 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I can do 4 here. And then using my quotient rule right here, I can also do x to the 4 minus 1, which gives me x to the 3rd power. So I can do 4, 1 times 3, x, 3 times 3, and I'm left with 4 to the 3rd power, x to the 9th power. 4 to the 3rd power I can actually figure out on the calculator at 64. X to the 9th is my final answer. So take a little bit of time to try your own student examples. On your actual EOC exam, you're provided a reference sheet. These are the exact formulas that you'll be provided. We have not yet talked about rational exponents, so don't worry about that one just yet, but the rest of these should look familiar. In case they don't, I put them on this sheet as a reminder. There are also your other videos that you can look to help remind you how these work. But we're going to take all of the rules that we know now, apply it to this problem. 3w squared x divided by 2w to the 5th x to the 4th, quantity squared. So there's a lot of different ways that we could approach this using our different rules, but generally I want to simplify the inside of my parentheses as much as I can first before I apply my power rule. So I know that my 3 divided by 2, I'm not going to be able to simplify all that much. But here I have w squared and w to the 5th. I know I have the same base, and because I have a fraction there, I'll be able to use my quotient rule. My quotient rule says I'm going to subtract my numerator exponent from my denominator exponent. Right next to it, I have x and x to the 4th, so I can use that same quotient rule. I know this x has a power of 1 minus 4, and then all of this is still taken to my second power. So here I have 3 squared, w to the negative 3rd, x to the negative 3rd squared. And so my negative exponents I'm going to bring down now. At this point, I'm going to be applying my power rule. So it's going to be 3 squared over 2 squared, w to the 3 times 2, x to the 3 times 2, which will leave me with 9 over 4, w to the 6, x to the 6th. And that's my final answer. It's time to try this next one on your own. When you're all done, I want you to write a 1-sentence summary focusing on your main ideas and 1 question.